What's going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Bland back in the building with another episode of the Shop Podcast, guys. Here's everybody doing this weekend. It is Saturday. We got another lit show, another fantastic guest on the Shop Podcast. How's everybody doing? I hope that everybody's having a great weekend so far. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to cover today, and we got an awesome guest to do that with. So we just go ahead and dive right into it. So go ahead and give yourself a shout out, Delilah. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. You guys know this is Delilah HD. You can, on Twitter, Delilah_HD. Thank you for having me on the shop, PTK. I do appreciate it. I'm glad to be back. I was one of the earlier guests he had on a long time ago when he first started his show. So thank you for having me on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you for taking some time out as well to come hang with us. You guys show some love, show some support, guys. I made sure I put her Twitter handle down in the description as well as Grown Women Gaming. They have a YouTube channel. They are growing. If you guys enjoy gaming, that's where real gamers go. I'm a fan. I'm a subscriber as well. So do so. Do so. And then we got my right hand man, Fuzzy Belvedere. But before you start, Fuzz. Let me go and give a shout out to my boy Zalker. He's had some family things going on before the show. So shout out to you, Zalker. Hopefully everything is going fantastic, buddy. Shout out to your sister as well. Hope she feel better. But go ahead, Fuzzy, give yourself a shout out, man.
Hey, Fuzzy Belvedere here. You can find me on either Twitter or Xbox Live. I'm glad to be here and with special guests, and hopefully Zalker and his sister, pull through and everything. And let's get ready to talk about some games.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. So let's dive in. So once again, if you guys are new here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 2K subscribers. So be that next subscriber, guys. Man, we do this for real, man. Go back in the archives too. Check out some old podcast video. Lots of interesting stuff. Lots of things to watch here on the show. Let's dive right in. So first thing we're going to be talking about, guys, is some Anthem. Right? We're going to be talking about Anthem. All three of us here on the panel have the game. Now, granted, I haven't played much of it just yet. Maybe like a half of a mission that I had to jet out. But for brief time I played it, the game, I haven't run into any of the bugs, and I know we're gonna get into that because I know there's a lot going on Twitter about the bugs and loading screen issues, things like that. I have not experienced that just yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you start, Delilah, since you're the guest for the show today. What are your impressions versus what you already knew about the game?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I did get a chance. I think I'm rare. Like I was able to enjoy the alpha when it came out prior to the VIP beta, which I was in that as well, and then I played the public beta. So I kind of got a lot of. I've been able to kind of see the game a little bit change. The growth a little bit.
Yeah.
My impressions right now with the retail game are pretty positive. I mean, the gameplay loop that they have is pretty well done. It's pretty fun. I mean, the flying mechanic is buttery smooth. The gun mechanic is really, really great. The weapons sound really nice and hefty. I have like my only gripes I would say would be like the enemies. Some of the enemies are AI is not all the way there, but the larger enemies like the with the wolves and the and the titans and like that, the AI on those are really well done. So it's kind of I'm not surprised by the mixed reviews because it's like you can see the negative parts of the game, but you can also see the positive parts of the game. Overall, I mean, it's fun. I just hope they can get in like repair and fix all of these technical issues that they're dealing with the server and things like that.
Cool. Yeah. Once again, I haven't gotten to play a ton of it, so I don't really have a huge opinion. I haven't run into any of the bugs, so I do believe as far as the AI, it could be a little bit wonky. I mean, like you said, the environment, the flying is super smooth. Like you said, buttery. I think there's really no other game that offers that kind of mechanic and verticality like that smooth. I don't really think there's anything else that's mimicked that is good so far. So I mean, it's almost like Ace Combat. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that the flying is really that tight. No, for real, it's not even like air combat game for sure. But I think they got a lot of interesting things. Obviously, a lot of things that they can work on. And EA seems to be committed to this. That's the one thing that's different about this island. I don't know if you've discerned that from EA as well. They're very, very committed to Anthem, just based on like how much love that they've shown it. So would you agree with that as well? Do you think they're?
I don't know. I kind of like. I think the way that they're providing information is kind of shaky because like the server issues, you'll get a notification in game that says, oh, we're experiencing server issues, so on and so forth. But then you go to the website to get more details, and it says that the servers are doing fine or the servers are great. So I think they need to clean all that stuff up.
Yeah.
Because I recently posted on Twitter about issues I was experiencing where I would log into the game and it would show that I was kind of restricted from access from the game. It was saying that I didn't have authority to play. Yeah. And so, me, I'm like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. I was just playing this a minute ago. Did someone report me in my band or something like? So it took me 2 minutes. I went to a forum. And I noticed that it was just a server issue that they're dealing with. But if I would have went to that forum, I wouldn't have known. I would have been freaking out, probably trying to call Xbox and get in contact with anybody I could about the issue. I mean, just thank God I had the wherewithal. But what if I was someone else and I didn't know let me go check a forum, or let me go see if anyone else is posting about it.
On Twitter,
right, and really think that I was like banned or something. So, and it was crazy because it wasn't just me. It was like it was mostly console players, people on PlayStation 4. People on Xbox, that when you would go into the game, it would just pop up and say, you're restricted from playing the game. If you think this is an error, please contact so and so. It looked like you were banned. That's exactly what it looked like. But yeah, so they need to I think the communication needs to be cleaned up a little bit. But I think they can do it. I think since they have 100% focus on this game across the teams, that they will be able to kind of get this taken care of. But I don't know, man. They need to get it together because it can turn into a problem real quick.
Really, really quick. And that's the thing. And I've always said that. I mean, if they've and the funny thing about that's not the only issue, Delilah. That's just the current issue because remember, content. The lack of as far as like the roadmap. So I mean, there's a lot we can throw in the fire. We gonna dive into that. We're gonna unpack that. But go ahead, Fuzzy. Go ahead. What do you feel as far as your first impressions versus what you initially thought? I know we talked about this a lot already on this show. We've been talking Anthem probably for the last year. So what's your impression?
I'm loving the game, but not the bugs, and it's kind of weird for me because I started playing the 10-hour deal and didn't seem to experience any issues. When the full launch or come the 22nd, when I went to play it then, that's when all the issues seemed to pop their ugly head up. I had less issue with the demo that a lot of other people were having issues with. I had less issues with that than I do with the regular game. Now, bear in mind, I was under the impression that the day one patch had already installed. Like when I did the 10-hour deal, I saw that there was an update for the Anthem app. So I my Xbox automatically downloads it. I'm like, all right, I should be good. I'm playing and I get to a couple of the main story missions and one of two things either happens. Either I get stuck in a loading screen where I can hear my javelin doing stuff. It's like it's flying, the sound it makes when it's flying. And then I'm like, all right, well, let me hit the, landing attack thing. And it's like, it's doing that like in an infinite loop, just and I'm like, okay, and it's still stuck in this loading screen, and then it says, oh, cinematic something is proceeding, and I'm like, what the heck? And it already had it where I was originally playing solo, but for I guess some of those main story missions, they automatically, if you're playing solo, group you with randoms, and that's fine. But I had to quit out of the game, go back. And then I completely missed the mission, completely missed the cinematics, but I still get the rewards. I'm like, okay, that's great. But what happened to the cinematics? It's like now I have like some of these people in the base that I have no idea why or how or what. And it didn't just happen on one mission. It happened on like at least two of them where it's like that just kills the story for me right now. And I got so pissed off I had to take a break. Took a break from it. I'm like a level 15. I have all but actually I have one gold weapon, which is the reward, which I probably shouldn't have redeemed that reward. I should have waited until I was like level 30. But I have the one gold gun and then mostly blues for the
how
stuff.
How do you get your? Because I got that's for buying that what's it?
Legendary.
The Legion something.
I have that. And how do you redeem that? Because I
whatever you do, don't redeem it because it's probably going to be based around your javelin level or roughly around it. Because I was like a level, I want to say 12 or 14 at the time, and they gave me a level 18 gun.
Yeah.
And right now it's like it's so underpowered because of all the other stuff that I've done, because I've done like the strongholds. I'm ready for that grind, doing the strongholds on hard
Yeah.
and trying to get blue gear out of that and stuff. And it yeah, just wait on redeeming anything other than maybe the vinyls. Redeem the vinyls, sure, but don't redeem the Legion stuff until you're level 30.
Okay.
But
You're right. It's kind of not worth it. I mean,
yeah.
what's cool about the Legion gun though is that it has these other attributes, but you're right. The damage level is very underpowered. It's kind of like a useless almost.
Yeah. And I'm
like
kind of
I don't know if
wondering
it
if they
scales, but
purposely did that.
you said that it scales to level. Like
I don't know if it scales to level. I think it's like it looks at what your pilot level and what your gear is. So like, because I was doing a lot of the strongholds on hard, even though my pilot level at the time was like level 12, I was getting like 17 to 19 like blue gear stuff out of some of the drops. So I'm thinking when I cash it in, because I was like, oh, well, what's this? Oh, I can get the vinyls. And then I thought, I didn't think it was going to be a weapon as well. I just thought it was going to be like the body stuff. So it didn't really matter. And then I noticed I have this gold weapon. I'm like, oh, I probably should have done that. but it seems like even when I think I was a 14, I had level 19 stuff on my javelin. I'm running an interceptor, and here it is. I have a level 18 weapon, and it's already got the down red arrow on it compared to all the other stuff that I have. So it's like, yeah, the talents are great, but it's like throwing rocks at some of the enemies. So, but my blue sniper, the Devastator, you got it. The Devastator is probably the best thing as far as for long distance, taking out Titans and things, and or taking out the enemy, especially if you're like running on hard stronghold and that big bug. Just let other people like throw frost on it, and then just blow up those little pouches or whatever on that thing with the Devastator, and you'll be good to go. But aside from the bugs,
y'all been grinding on that game. See, I ain't even really got to sink my teeth in yet. So, man,
it's a little addicting. Like, it's kind of, because it's looter shooter. So you want to get better gear, you want to improve your javelin.
Yeah.
So what made you? What made you go with the Interceptor first, Fuzz? Because I was stuck, bro. I wanted to do the Interceptor because I'm a Warlock guy in Destiny, so I naturally gravitated towards the Storm. But I felt like everybody else as well, because it was like, I feel like it's the most unique javelin, the Storm, because you don't really rely as much on like your actual weapon, so and it's more like an area effect kind of character. So that's really cool. And I'm, like I said, I'm a Warlock guy in Destiny. So what made you choose the Interceptor?
The melee as an alternative. So the thing I like about the Interceptor, you can fly in, drop down, shoot a couple of things, slice a couple of things, fly out real quick. So instead of having to reload or switch weapons all the time in between, like, spending 40 rounds on a swarm of the scorpion things, I can start slicing them up and then fly back out. The Storm, I have to get more used to it. It just seems like I'm playing way too close when I use the Storm. I'm usually within a little bit closer than sniper range a lot of times, and it just seems like I get hit with stuff, and it's like, oh wait, I have no shield. Oh wait, I'm down. What the heck?
Yeah,
Storm is pretty weak. I play the Storm, and you need to, because you lose your shield like 2 hits.
Yeah,
the Storm, they have great ability. I mean, I love playing Storm. Don't get it twisted. It's just that, man, your shield, you have to be flying and floating all the time.
Yeah.
Because once you land and you're running around like
you get
like a ranger, that's it. One shot, your shields are gone. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, I definitely have to get used to that type of gameplay style with the Storm. I think I'm so used to playing a little bit closer or wanting to flank things, and it's like, that you can't do that with the Storm. You just throw your frost or your fire ability at something, let everybody else take at it. But like for playing solo, the Storm is just not my jam. But it's an awesome javelin. It's just, I got to get used to it. I got to play a little bit differently. And with the Interceptor, I have all that speed. I have the flying ability, the nimbleness, and then if worst case scenario, if I'm out of weapons or out of ammo, I can start slicing stuff and then get out of there, heal up, fly back in, slice some stuff, shoot a few more things, slice some stuff. So it's like having that ability. The Colossus, I definitely want to give a try later. The Ranger, I think, is going to probably be the best overall for like a solo setup because you can still slice stuff. It's just not as quick. You can still shoot stuff long distance and
it's well balanced. Right?
Yeah, the Ranger is the most balanced one right now.
The most balanced.
See, and as being a Storm player, I feel like the way I play Storm is pretty balanced. But I'm probably playing it the wrong way. But yeah, I mean, they did a good job of making the four types like very different from one another. They feel different, and the abilities are clearly different. So I got a feeling that because once you get past a certain level with the Storm, you feel almost untouchable. So I got a feeling they're gonna nerf that in the future. Because once you get the lightning ability,
damn it! I haven't gotten to do the cheese stuff yet. They're gonna nerf all the cheese stuff before I get to it.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be a problem. Like, because trust me, that super that Storm has, man, it can clear a room like one attack. It clear the whole room. So I can see that being nerfed down.
Damn it! I gotta get into that before we put it.
Yeah, you might want to.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, I mean, I guess my opinion on it, like I said, I haven't played much of it, but just to kind of wrap this up, essentially, I think the game was great. Like I said, I haven't run into any of the bugs. I was really, really enjoying the mission, and yes, I did decide on picking Storm first, and yes, that is absolutely true about the shield. I had to constantly get picked up, by my fellow teammates, hoping, that they would even come help me, or I had to respawn myself usually because sometimes they wouldn't even come get me, unfortunately. So that's, jumping in there with randoms trying to do, story missions is kind of tough sometimes, but hopefully they can balance that out as well. But either way, I think the game is going to be great. The content does bother me a little bit because it's not so much. You know how we did with Destiny. People burn through Destiny content in like 2 weeks.
Right.
And like you're done. And you just got to kind of grind and do the daily, weekly, monthly stuff over and over again. But I think the end game has to be there. The content has to be there. I think that's going to be the biggest thing because there's a lot of other games that are going to pull people's attention away, from this game. A lot of great games coming out. I'm looking forward to Rage 2. That's going to probably pull my attention away for a little while. So there's some other games coming down the line as well. Who knows what's going on at E3? So I don't know. But for now, I'm enjoying the game. Haven't hit any bugs yet, but I will report if that happens. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this first topic. And that was a great topic, just kind of warm things up. Once again, if you're just joining the show live, say hello to everybody as you come in the chat. Smack the like button. It helps the show be seen as well. Show some support. Go down in the description below. Follow all of us on Twitter. Everybody's handle is down there, as well as Grown Women Gaming YouTube channel, as well as Delilah's Twitter handle. Go follow her as well. Let's go ahead and dive right into the next topic, man. I have fun doing this, man. So the next thing is going to be the big rumor. So if you haven't been living under the rock, okay, if you've been on Twitter at all, even if you're not a gamer, it's probably been trending. There's a rumor essentially going around that Xbox Live, Xbox Game Pass, is potentially going to be on the Nintendo Switch. And I wanted you guys' opinion now. This is a pretty polarizing subject. There's a lot of people on one side of the fence or the other. We keep it real. So, I'm going to start with you, Delilah. What do you think, first of all? It's like a two-part question. First of all, just about the rumor itself, and what do you think about the blowback that the community's had from that rumor?
You talking about the one with it's been a lot of rumors, so let me just speak. You talking about the rumor with in regards to the Switch?
Yes.
Having Xbox games and Game Pass, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What is a doozy? I mean, I believe it. I think it's a chance that it's gonna happen. I think because if you gotta think about Microsoft, this is their bag. This is the game they're trying to play right now. They have brought games to the Switch in the past, and people tend to forget that. Games like Blue Dragon has a DS game. Of course, Minecraft. That's a huge one. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, Microsoft have been releasing their games on Steam. People shouldn't look too much into it. It is what it is. They're trying to put their games everywhere. I do understand the blowback. I understand the people are like, oh man, so that means that what are we gonna get in return? You putting all these games on Nintendo. Is Nintendo gonna put Mario on Xbox? And I it's easy to see why an Xbox fan would who like solely play on Xbox fan would feel some kind of way. Like, dang, all our content is going over there. We're not really getting anything. Our games are going to PC. We're not getting any PC games. And I feel like that's just a negative way to look at it. Yeah, you gotta look at it as like now the community is gonna be bigger, and you're gonna have more people in these games and more attach rate to certain games, and you're gonna be able to take these games on the go if you support Switch. Like you gotta look at the positives when it comes to stuff like this, because I feel like Microsoft is not gonna change their stance on it. So you might as well just get used to it and suck it up and enjoy the games when they come.
Okay. Well, I mean, I take a similar stance, not necessarily just, like suck it up, but I understand, like you said, I understand the blowback. What I don't like is the fake like outrage when we act like we don't know this is the direction that things are going. We were just talking about crossplay. We talk about like that X Play, as far as we've been talking about that, like since the last E3, potentially them putting their, they're putting their, essentially Xbox app or Game Pass, being able to stream it on all these different devices. xCloud, that's what I meant. Sorry, thank you for clearing that up for me. But either way, so this is not out of the realm of possibility. And once again, look at the bright side. Okay, it's not going to take, it's another choice. That doesn't mean I necessarily have to go play on the Switch. I mean, look at it this way, too. I did a video about this recently, Delilah, on the channel. By the way, if you guys haven't seen that, go check that out in the archives on the channel, by the way, subscribe. And I basically said that this is not like even that big of a deal. Look at what Nintendo's doing. I mean, their relationship has grown so strong. I mean, from the crossplay, they've been really chummy Nintendo and Xbox. This probably the second half of the generation. I'm not necessarily sure why and what changed, but they've been really, really, really chummy. I mean, what could happen potentially, maybe something down the line. I mean, how many people would love to see Master Chief in Smash Bros?
Right? I said that on my show this morning. So, and also check this out. People don't realize this though. In Seattle, Nintendo is literally next door to Microsoft. Like literally next door. You can go out of the Microsoft Studio D and walk across the street, and there's Nintendo.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're right there. You have employees that have left Microsoft and went to Nintendo, and vice versa. So I mean, I look at it like it's gonna happen. It may be 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 years from now.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just gonna happen. To me, it's a natural progression between the two. They have twos. The interest to me is too much perfect of a match. Look at Nintendo. They do not have a strong online infrastructure. Who does? Microsoft. You get what I'm saying? So it's like they each solve. If you put them side by side, they solve one another's problems. Whereas Nintendo can get the Japanese market, Microsoft can't.
Yeah.
I already mentioned the online infrastructure part. To me, it's just like it makes total sense to me. And a lot of people are not going to look at it that way. They look at it, this is my favorite platform. I don't really want this on, like I said, the negative part of it. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I see it as a win-win. And if it means better games and more games, I'm all for it.
Yeah. And think about it this way. People act like we're going to see Halo on Switch. That's not going to happen, people. Like,
I can see it.
Well, listen. I mean, as far as like, no. I mean, potentially, but what I'm saying is that, like, I mean, the Switch can't run like some of these games. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but the Switch can't run Doom though.
You said it can't.
Well, the Switch can't run Doom. But a lot of people thought that the Switch couldn't run Doom, and they released Doom on the Switch. Is what I was getting at.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch it. So okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can see all of that happening. I don't know. I mean, that would be a little tougher, but I don't know. Potentially, you never know. Like you said, they're that close, and who knows what can happen. So I wouldn't be surprised. But Fuzz, it's on you, man. What do you think?
It's kind of weird feeling. I like the camaraderie that they have. I would rather see Game Pass and Xbox games on the Switch via this way, as opposed to Microsoft dumping a ton of money into trying to develop a portable unit. I guess the only thing that's weird about it is, as long as it's a two-way street, I'm all for it. I don't want to just see Game Pass games on the Switch and then we don't get anything in return. I would like to, not saying that we're going to see Zelda on our Xbox, but to see some of the games that are Nintendo specific on our Xbox wouldn't be a bad thing. As long as it's a two-way street, that would be the main thing that I would be all for it. But if it's a one-way street, then it's kind of like, okay, well, Xbox saw this as a better opportunity to do a portable as opposed to trying to spend billions on making their own portable console. But it's weird. I'm a fan of Game Pass. I used to be a PlayStation guy, now more of an Xbox guy, just because of the games, the community, and everything. And when I say the games, a lot of people are like, oh, the PlayStation exclusives. It's like, well, I was all about the driving games, and lately, in my opinion, PlayStation hasn't been delivering the driving games that it once used to, the games that they used to be known for. So Forza all day long, every day at this point. But it's weird. I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day as far as just Microsoft in general, where it's going to be on every device, not necessarily PlayStation, but it's going to be on our phones. It might even be on our TVs or Roku and things like that with this xCloud. And it's like, why do you buy a console then? But
that's it. People they won't accept that fact that at a point it's going to be a point where you won't need to.
Right.
Like, and I feel like people are so afraid of change that they're scared to recognize that fact. Like, oh, life without console is so scary. Like, no, like a lot of people are able to play games on their cell phones.
Yeah.
Like, I'm past that fear part. Like I'm used to be there. I used to be like, oh no, and no, I don't want such and such. And now I'm in the acceptance phase, put it that way.
Yeah.
At this point, I look at Microsoft with a completely different light. I see them as more of a Sega, and not like a huge video game console manufacturer. I see them as going like fully third party on everything, putting their games everywhere, regardless of platform. I fully accepted that because as long as I'm able to play the games that I want to play, I'm happy. I just want my Gears. I just want my Halo. I want my Killer Instinct, things like that.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm able to play them, they're not taking those games away from me, and I'm cool with that. So.
Yeah, and that's the biggest point is that, like I said, it's an option. It's another option. Like it's not necessarily meaning it's going to devalue what you're already planning on. If you still want to play it on the Xbox, there's benefits to playing it on the Xbox. As well, there may be benefits to playing it on the Switch or whatever other platform PC it may be on. It's already on PC. So, that's the vision essentially that Microsoft and Xbox have. I think that's why Satya bought in. I think Phil's bought into that. Part into that because he sees that that's where the entire company's going. In that direction anyway. I mean, look at the Azure. Look how fast that's growing. It rivals Amazon as the largest cloud infrastructure on the earth. I think it's second behind Amazon, or very close second, I think, behind Amazon. So you have to, if the entire company initiative is cloud computing, that's Xbox is part of Microsoft. It's not vice versa.
That's right.
So you have to kind of, and that's where everything is going. So like you said, that fear though, I get it. I understand. We don't like change. Shit happens. I get it. I understand. But you have to see where things are going. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna happen overnight. Things take time to formulate, see how long it took, we don't even have a true like cloud process game yet. So who's to say this thing isn't a few years off, but it's definitely something that we can realistically see this happening. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's sooner than later. So I completely agree with you guys on that particular point. I didn't want to cut you off, Fuzzy, if you weren't done with your point. Did you get a chance to?
No, I'm done. Like my only other thing was that, as long as they continue to make a console that's powerful without having to spend, PC decent or extreme level PC type of money, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I agree with you there because, Steam machines, we all know how that did well. So I definitely would prefer for Microsoft to make the console. I still want that. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't want them to stop making consoles. I can see that, like I said, I can see a world without it, but I definitely their quality and the way they structure their systems, I like it. So I definitely would want them to continue doing that.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so it seems like we're all. Go ahead.
Put a monkey wrench in that. What if they found like Dell or somebody to take over manufacturing?
Oh my God, don't.
Just
say that. Don't. Oh my goodness.
I can see things like spin out. It's just We don't know
Lord.
where it's going with them because
You really came on to shake things up, didn't you, Delilah? Oh my goodness, Dale, out of all people, Jesus.
I picked one. I couldn't think of.
I know. I'm just joking. Oh man, that is crazy. But yeah, no, I sound like we're in all agreements on that particular topic, man. So let's go ahead and keep it moving on. So the next topic, guys, we're gonna be talking about the poll of the week. So if you're new here, I explain this every week to make sure everybody knows how it's going down. So if you follow me on Twitter every Monday, I always put up a poll of the week, and then we discuss it here on the show. It becomes one of the topics, and we had a huge turnout. About 600 people voted. Thank you guys for voting, every single person that voted. So the question was, what game have you been playing recently? And the picks or the options were Apex Legends, Crackdown 3, Metro Exodus, and other. Crackdown 3 won by a landslide. It was almost 50%. And then the other, there was some few games. Somebody said Anthem. Fuzzy, you said NASCAR Heat. Far Cry New Dawn. Far Cry 5 Farm Together. There was a few other games as well sprinkled in there. But I wanted to ask you two, starting with our guest Delilah, what is the most played recent game?
Oh man, it'd be Crackdown. I mean, that game is so addicting and mindless.
It really is.
You can do everything while playing that game. Like listen to a podcast, listen to the radio. I mean, it's so the best word I can use is mindless. Like because you can just zone out and play and not have to think too much about what you're doing and just have.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it's definitely. Oh my, it's hard to explain. And then you know what the crazy thing about it, Delilah? The orbs. Like I could be doing a mission, and I'm like, ooh, a green orb, and you just run off.
Right.
So go ahead and finish. I don't want to cut you off.
When you play the platformers, you had to go get all the coins, or when you playing banjo, you had to get the little puzzle pieces and things like that. That's what it reminded me of because you gotta constantly collect, and then you get new weapons, and it's all about blowing stuff up. I recently posted a video. Yeah, like I recently posted a video, a 20-minute video of me pretty much in the citywide lockdown, and just how long it took me to get out of citywide lockdown. It was so much fun. Just constantly just on edge. You can't really stop moving because they're still trying to kill you like every 5 seconds. So.
Every 5 seconds, yeah. The entire city's against you, yeah, at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, so second part to that question, does that, I mean, I don't know the opinion I didn't see you on Twitter as much. Maybe you probably were, I'm pretty sure. But as far as your opinion on Crackdown 3 and the review score, so I mean, if going in, is it what you expected, or were you surprised?
Yeah, I love the first game, so I'm a Crackdown fan. I like the first game a lot. Not so much the second game. I hated the orb system they had in the second game. I thought it was kind of terrible, but yeah, man. I mean, the game is just pure fun. That's how I look at it, and that's how I accept it. I don't go in there expecting it to be God of War. I don't go in expecting it to be more than what it is, because to me, it's way better than the first game. Like it nails all the parts about the first game that I loved, whether it was a targeting system, whether it was a transforming car, whether it was, your character improving over time, getting crazy weapons, and then like enemies on top of enemies on top of enemies. Like it nailed all of those things I was looking for in a Crackdown game. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I give it a solid 8 out of 10.
You know what? We're gonna clap it up for that because I feel like the crazy thing is I went in a little skeptical as well, just because sometimes you succumb to what everybody say. You kind of had that doubt, like maybe it is bad. But you know what? As soon as I turned it on and me and my son sat down and played it, it was a wrap. From the first 10 minutes, I was like, oh, I'm stuck. Like this is a wrap.
It's so addictive.
I was sitting there, it was like 3.5 hours later. I'm like, oh shit, I've been playing this game the whole time, like just sitting here. So it's just the game is amazing. Like you said, I think, and I said this, Fuzzy, you can back me up on this, Fuzzy, that I think you being a Crackdown fan, Delilah, me being an OG Crackdown fan, you got to understand a lot of the people that have these issues with Crackdown probably didn't play the first one or didn't have an opportunity to, because a lot of younger generation, they hadn't get a chance to play that, So I think that they came in with a different perspective of what that kind of game should be. You look at GTA. You look at a game that scale, open world, similar, I guess, in some. Even though they're not very similar in all actuality, I think Crackdown is more like Saints Row, like outlandish, crazy,
Yeah.
on purpose. But I just think people went in sometimes from the wrong angle. I don't think a lot of people got a really chance to understand that the game was like deliberately that way. Like it's not. It doesn't even take it. Terry Crews is the mascot. People.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't take itself seriously at all.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, like at all. It's like a big joke. But I love the game. Like you said, I would give it. I'll properly rate it an 8.3, 8.4. Out of 10. I think it's a solid game. Now I haven't played the multiplayer. I heard that's not so great. But
I
from
have my
as
issues
far as
with multiplayer. For me, it's. I mean, it's fun. Don't get it twisted. I just wish that only thing I'm not so much worried about being able with the party system that people have been complaining about. What I'm worried about is some sort of ranking system. Like, okay, I did one match. Like, I lit everybody up, and like I had like 12 kills, and I'm like, okay, I won that one match, but no, it wasn't like something that someone can see in the future and see. Oh, she had 12 kills in one game. There's no way,
yeah.
no progression system. That's what I'm getting.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like
Wow. Okay.
I mean, you see it after the match.
Yeah.
You see all of that after the match, but you can't like it's not like Halo where you get medals and you can kind of see how well you're doing in multiplayer and your rank goes up, and so now you rank such. They need all of that. To me, I feel like the multiplayer is where the game lacks the most. The campaign is fantastic. The multiplayer still needs work. So.
Yeah, I think a majority of the people, even the people that I guess you can say they didn't review it very well. I think that was their biggest slight. So I would agree with a lot of the reviews about the multiplayer. But I don't know. So Fuzz, I know you were stuck in a game, bro. I know you were stuck. You pretty much. I don't know if you 100% it yet.
No, I'm still probably about like 20 orbs away from maxing out on car level, and probably about the same for agility. I still got to find all those orbs or find a decent amount more. I haven't done the rooftop racing yet or any of the driving race. I think I did 2 races and like 2 rooftop races.
Oh, I love those.
They're fun.
So
it's just
too. Yeah.
Those are probably what I'm going to need to do to finish maxing everything out. And I kind of took a break from it, enjoyed the heck out of it. Like I think somebody was trying to say that on Twitter before that it's like, oh, well, Agents of Mayhem outdid Crackdown or did a better. I'm like, after playing Agents of Mayhem, Saints Row 3 and 4, and a bit of Saints Row 2, I'm like, Saints Row 3 has a slight edge on Crackdown 3. In my personal opinion, Crackdown 3 has an edge over Saints Row 4, which has an edge over Agents of Mayhem. Now, if Agents of Mayhem had co-op and they made it a little bit easier as far as not necessarily jumping from character to character, but made it where the progression continued kind of like the way it does for Crackdown. Like if you level up one character, it levels up all of the characters. It's just a matter of, I guess, one thing that if Crackdown could add to the campaign, allow certain weapons or certain abilities to be stronger for each character. Like they have like a leveling bonus, so they get 10% more, driving ability or agility ability and things like that. But if, like, for example, if a particular character worked better with a pistol, and it let's say that character with a fully leveled up weapons thing had it where that pistol did explosive shots or something like that. I think if they added that small little twist to it, then that would have pushed it, at least in my opinion, over Saints Row 3, because and have Terry Crews more vocal throughout the game.
Yeah,
that would have definitely sealed the deal for me on that. But it's still fun as hell. I played a ton of it. Like I haven't even looked at how many hours, but it's gotta be, it's over 20 plus hours. And Anthem now, because like when you put the poll out, I was like, well, come Saturday, Anthem's probably going to have it beat out for me. But I put a ton of time in Crackdown 3. It's mindless fun, but it's the type of fun that I miss from Saints Row 3. Like I never played the first Crackdown or even the second one. Saints Row 3, I've heard from get-go, was like kind of like a ripoff of Crackdown, and I enjoyed the heck out of that. Like I said before, that's one of the few platinum games, like Saints Row 3 and 4. Those are one of the only platinum games, 100% it all the way, DLC, the whole nine. Like, and I'm probably going to wind up doing that with Crackdown 3 between, flipping back and forth between that and Anthem, and at least until the Division 2 comes out. But that game is fun. Played a bit of NASCAR Heat 3 just because I'm a big NASCAR fan, and Daytona was like last weekend, so trying to get my my fill of NASCAR racing on the console. But yeah, Crackdown 3, well deserved, almost 50% on that poll out of like 600 people on there. Hey, it was the most played Xbox game or paid Xbox game for like that week, so it shows.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what the funny thing about what I appreciate about the game is, yes, you guys are absolutely right. It is mindless fun, but I never felt like it wasn't rewarding while I was playing it. I never felt like, damn, I'm not like I'm doing this. It's kind of repetitive. You go do this, blow that up, go do this. But I never felt like I was doing mindless chores. Like, it was all exciting while I was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because I could approach every single mission any way I wanted.
Right.
I didn't have to do it this way, and there was no corridor. I'm fucking jumping the wall. I'm dropping the car. I'm throwing a bomb and a grenade. I'm throwing people into the water. Jumping on the helicopter. Whatever. Throwing stuff into other stuff and all kind of crazy. It's you can play the game literally however you want to play it. There's no instruction manual at all, and they don't penalize you for that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't penalize you for playing it how you want to play it. So I don't know if you guys noticed that as well, Delilah or Fuzzy. Do you guys agree with that as well?
Yeah,
I agree with you completely. I think, because I did make a mistake when I was playing the game. I started the game and then I went. You know how you go to the top, the top right of the map?
Yeah,
and that's like the hardest part of the map.
Part, yeah.
And I went there super under level, and I was like, "Yo, this game's hard." So it encourages you to go clockwise and then to the middle. But I didn't know that going in, and so I have so many like stories of me just thinking that I've got to, try to complete that section over there in order to progress in the game. But I think if I had to pick one thing that I wish Microsoft would have did or Sumo Digital would have did with the game is they should have had it to where you had all like some of your powers in the middle, like I would say level like 2 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you first play the game, you kind of get a feel of the frenzy, like of all the people trying to kill you. You don't seem super weak, and then all of a sudden you get downgraded. I think that would be a better experience because I feel like a lot of people probably played it for like the first 15 minutes. Was like, I can't see myself getting better at this game, or if this all it is I want to play, right? But as a Crackdown fan, you know that how it's gonna be. Like you're gonna get better, you're gonna get stronger. So you understand the progression, whereas a new person playing Crackdown, they may not get it right away.
True. That's a good point. And but once again, because that happened to me as well. I went to a couple areas where I was not under power. I learned quickly that those percentages were my actual survival percentages. Actually doing that mission. I didn't realize that at first. I'm like, wait a minute, it's 12%. That's probably not good. I probably shouldn't do that yet. So anyway, but ultimately, I think the game. It resonates when you're a Crackdown fan like me and you are, Delilah. So it's everything you want in a Crackdown. I do wish Terry Crews would have had a little bit more banter. That was something that I thought. He's the mascot of the game. I think they should have made it more prevalent. As far as like his vocals. I mean, he had some cool one-liners, but I just think that he should have just been flying off the handle like crazy. Like everything you did. Get some, all kind of crazy stuff. Just every single thing you did, like just overblown. But I appreciate the game for what it was. I did not expect GTA 6. That's not what I was looking for. So if you went in looking for GTA 6, I'm sorry. You probably gonna have to wait till 2030 to get that. So we'll see. But let's go ahead and move on to the last topic here on the show. Once again, thank you for everybody showing up tonight. Everybody in the chat, appreciate you guys so much. Let's go ahead and dive into the last thing. So this is something that I left for last on purpose because it's kind of a sensitive subject. It's very, very sensitive, and a lot of people, like I said, it taps into. We were talking about the way people are feeling about Crackdown and kind of the the social. I call it social media clickbait. It's not clickbait, YouTube clickbait. It's social media clickbait. So I mean, what do you guys think? You guys think is social media ruining gaming? There's a lot to unpack there. That's a big question. So I'm gonna start with you on this one, Fuzzy. What do you think? I mean, kind of wrap your mind around that a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
so what do you think though?
It's one of those. There are aspects of it that is ruining gaming because of the pile-on mentality in some regards on things. Like, a perfect example: Mass Effect Andromeda. That was my first Mass Effect. If I just listened to everybody that was on Twitter or YouTube videos, it would have been the biggest stinking pile of dog poop ever.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't enjoy it for any reason whatsoever. It's broken. The faces are scary, and it just, to me, it was being a Star Trek fan. It was like a perfect incarnation of Star Trek in a game without having to play the free Star Trek grindy game.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it, but yeah, social media basically killed sales on that thing. It wasn't everybody's expected Mass Effect. I mean, people were already upset about the ending on 3, and they were a little hesitant on Andromeda. And this was like in the totally different direction because, they had to start a new series because of how the other one ended or whatever. But it's like everybody was ready to turn over cars and set the city on fire type of deal, that this isn't my Mass Effect, this is trash, blah, blah, blah. And then people would show like pictures of like the Goodwill where there's like 30 not containers, but like cases of games. Each case has like 20 games in it, and it's just sitting out there for like $1. I'm like, man, that game should have did better than that. People should have actually played it. Were there a few bugs? Sure. Did they patch most of those bugs? Sure. But did they make it fit in with the Mass Effect series? Maybe not, but it was still a better game than what it scored and what people gave it. So social media definitely ruined that game. Same thing's happening with Crackdown 3. So many people have been having fun with this game just for it being a game that just have fun. It's not like you have to focus on leveling up. I mean, you can, but that's part of the. No matter what you do, you're going to level up in that game. It's not like there's a special ending that you have to, interact with certain characters like some of these other, games. So it's like just sit back, have fun, blow stuff up, and enjoy doing it. Yeah. And that's what that game is. And people are, crapping on it just because it's not, like you said, it's not a GTA 6. It was never intended to be a GTA 6, but because it's not that, well, yeah, it's obviously it's got to be the worst thing ever. It just seems like that. And I don't want to say it's just like a underlining theme with games more on the Xbox end of things, but it does seem like they get a lot more scrutiny than, let's say, a PlayStation game. Because coming from PlayStation and looking at like Drive Club, if it wasn't for the fact that it was delayed a year and their online didn't work for the first 2 months on a game that's primarily an online racing game, aside from that, it was a great game. But if you take that factor that it was delayed because of whatever issue and then it didn't work for 2 months, that's unacceptable to me. But I don't think it got anywhere as much hate as some other games did around that time. I mean, sure, they closed the studio eventually, and it was just one of those things that, the player base was upset because there was supposed to be a free version for PS Plus and
PS Plus, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But on the flip side of things, I think social media does help with certain things. Like, and some people call it fake outrage. Some people call it, justified outrage. But loot boxes. I mean, I don't think anybody likes that term, or the implementation of that into their games. But by having social media and everybody talking about it, I think devs are now a little less likely to try to sneak that in. I mean, I'm all for devs making money from the game and with DLC and things, but some iterations of loot boxes are great if it's just cosmetics, but if it's like a pay to win type of thing, kick that stuff to the curb. But that's where social media kind of helps. But more times than not, I see the well, it's not just social media, because you would probably experience it in like live chat too, as far as the bullets, well, kind of like the cyberbullying aspect, where people pick on certain gamers for whatever reason, but that's just toxic trolls anyway. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think social media has made it harder for devs that may not have put all the effort into it. Like before, it seemed like, oh, we got a game on a cartridge. That game had to be 100% functional from day one, because there was no such thing as patches.
Yeah.
Now it seems like everything gets a day one patch. And social media kind of points that out on most games, where it's like, how did you guys even, think that this was a full game to release, or, a functioning game? But
Right.
I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, but I think it seems like it's made, if you listen to it too much, I think it makes gaming less enjoyable.
Oh my goodness.
But I don't think it's necessarily ruined it, but it you gotta take some stuff with a grain of salt and just kind of let the noise filter out and just play the games and enjoy it for yourself, type of thing.
And so, the funny thing, to piggyback off what you said, and I agree with every single point you made, Fuzzy. You pretty much hit the nail on the head. We could probably end the show right now, honestly. But I always tell people, and I did a video about this recently as well, do your own research, please.
Yeah.
Okay, if you see an article that looks, that's holding, Xbox Live, the Nintendo thing, or Game Pass, do your own research. Go read the article. There's a lot of publications, a lot of huge companies that make articles and write articles about these things, and a lot of us get the same information from the same sources. We're not all in Phil's office or Yoshida's office and stuff. We don't have those kind of connections. So a lot of us are getting information from the same places. People can make it seem like that they got some exclusive information, but generally we get them from the same places. But just go do your own research. Make up your own mind. Play the games. Don't just go off your first. Even me, I said, don't even go off what I'm saying. Watch the video. Thank you for that, by the way. But you don't have to, go based off even what I said. Just go do your research, play the game, take a damn chance. Because Delilah, I know you remember, and I know you remember, Fuzzy, when the only time we could get any information about a game before it came out was in the magazine aisle at some damn grocery store. That was it. That was our only update on what the game was going on. Like back with Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, I'm standing in the magazine aisle every time for that next, the Nintendo magazine. I can't remember what that was called exactly, but that was the only update we got once a month. That's the only. We didn't have Twitter. There was no, any of that. Now, social media has made that more accessible, made it just really easy. You can speak to a dev directly now. You don't even have to. You go straight to the source. So it's shortened all of that up, which is amazing, and it's done some great things as far as, like you said. I think it definitely has made devs more accessible. Therefore, they can't get away with doing things because they know they're going to be called out immediately, and it's going to. One person can hit a button, and 100,000 people see one tweet immediately. So I think that makes a lot of devs kind of back off, like, okay, this could really affect our brand, so we probably shouldn't do the shady shit we used to be able to get away with. So I don't want to take up too much time, but Delilah, I really want us to get your opinion on what do you think about social media? I know it's different for you, maybe a little bit, but what do you think about it?
Wow, I mean, I think social media would be bad if we didn't have a block button. Like, I say that with the most sincere way, because that's how I get through it. I used to get a lot of comments, a lot of feedback on games I like. Cause I make it no secret that I'm a huge ReCore fan. ReCore is one of the only 3D Metroidvania games that are available. Period. A lot of people didn't give that game time of day. They didn't play it no more than 30 minutes, and it's like, please play that game of at least more than an hour. And I fell in love with that game. I thought the mechanics were great. Of course, it needed some things that needed to change with it, but I absolutely loved it. Man, me going on Twitter saying how much I liked ReCore is to this day still a bad thing to say. And so that block button stay on my finger. Like, I'm always like block. Like, cause for me, I don't care to hear it. Like I don't care to waste my energy and effort and what someone else thinks when I already done made my mind up on what I like. You know, so you
Yeah.
telling me that the game's bad is doing us either of us any service. You know, it's just annoying me at this point. So I feel like people need to use their block button. That's what it's there for. And or tell the person, look, you know, or give them a warning, like I'm gonna block you if you keep saying it, because it's always just other people. It's never the communities, as far as like the Xbox community, as far at least the people I follow, I hardly ever see any toxic behavior going on.
Ooh, you ain't seen
um
my timeline. Oh Lord.
but see, that's just it. But that's my question: do you block these people? Do you get what I'm saying?
I,
Like
I yeah, it just
most
you know what the
people.
crazy thing about it is that like I do really I'm not really into like blocking people crazy.
See,
Like
that's
I
what
really
I'm
just
saying.
because I do I do for the most part, but I just don't like because for the most part like I just don't like it. Generally, my timeline is pretty cool. Like for the most part, like I probably say 80% of the time, but there's still some shit that slide through the cracks. But I don't always go straight to the block because sometimes people just have moments. Like people just
Right?
have moments.
I get that. I understand that.
Yeah. So
I don't,
anyway,
and
go
like
ahead. I know you
I
was
don't block
making your point.
everybody. Don't get it twisted. I don't
Yeah.
block everybody, but when I see some, like if you are including, an Xbox exec or PlayStation exec in your tweet and you saying something off the wall, you're getting blocked. Like
Yeah.
it to me, it's autumn. That part, that type of behavior is automatic. Um, but as far as social media ruining gaming, I don't think so. I think people are that's what social media is for. You're allowed to voice your opinion.
Yeah.
And so I don't necessarily think that it's hurting gaming. I think it helps gaming too, because
Yeah.
it allows the
I agree.
developers and publishers to see exactly what gamers are feeling or exactly what gamers want out of a game
Instantly too, right in that moment.
instantly. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Like a publisher can get on Twitter right now, post up a poll and say, what are the three things you like about Anthem, and go one, two, three, and let people vote on them and get that feedback almost instantly.
Yeah.
So I think it has its benefits. Of course, good come with the bad. But I say if you don't want that toxicity, like you want people to leave you alone and you don't want to engage in the console war, then stay on your block button.
I feel you on that. I know Fuzzy, you done hit the block button a few times too. I know you.
I've tried not to, but there's just some it's like their only job out there is to troll, and it's like I don't have time for it. It's like
Mhm.
I already gave my 2 cent opinion on Drive Club or Forza and what do you call it, Gran Turismo. And if you want to say, oh well, according to this place, this is a much better game. Okay, well, fine. The Digital Foundry said that the tail light looked clearer than the one on Forza. I
Right.
don't care. I'm not really looking at the tail light when I'm racing around the track. I'm not really worried about the stitching on the seat in a car that I'm, at first person view where I take the steering wheel out because I'm using my steering wheel that I have. But that's those are the ones that will get blocked because it's like you're just wasting your own time. I don't care what you have to say at that point.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're
social
right.
media can be fun, but
Good, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I agree with you on the block button. That's I'll have to probably look at using it a bit more, but I try not to engage. Like there's been so many times I get ready to post something, it's like, you know what? Let me just delete this. Just delete
Right, I've done that too. I've been there. Because I mean, I've got, of course, it's natural. I've got into some debates with people, and you know, but some people they love this whole console war stuff. Like, they
Yeah.
love to talk about it, love the debate, and that's great. I think that's healthy. I think
It
it's
is.
okay. I think it's okay to have a preference, and I think it's okay to justify your purchase because you put your time, effort, and money, and
Mhm.
energy into that product. So I've never felt like, oh, don't do such and such, or don't
Yeah.
say that you like certain things. I think that's fine. I think it's when you go to the extreme with it, or you start targeting people, or you start calling people out their name, and when you start going a little bit over the top, that's when I draw the line.
Well, for me, like, just in all honesty, I agree 100%. Like, we all bought this, buy these things, play these games, are hard-earned money. We spend plenty of time playing it. We're all entitled to our own opinion. I agree with that, and I've always said that. what I don't like is the blanket. Like when somebody says the entire Xbox community should be up in arms. I'm like, who are you talking about? You talking to
Right.
yourself, right? Like, not all of us. We don't
Yeah.
all feel the same way. So, and then they make it seem like it's like fact. They say it like it's we should. Oh, you should all be demanding better from your console. Like, get
It's
the
like I
fuck out of
don't feel like
here.
I'm
Like,
getting
get out of here.
bad stuff.
Like,
Like
I don't.
that's
Yeah.
the
Like,
thing. Like
I'm
I
like,
hear that one all the time. Like, oh, you should be demanding better from Microsoft. You should be demanding better games. I'm like, Recore wasn't bad for me. Crackdown wasn't bad for me. So what am I demanding? Like that's the thing. I don't understand that. Just because my game doesn't look like God of War, just because a game doesn't, every game doesn't have to be dark and moody and sad. Like I don't, I don't
yeah.
understand that.
You know, that's the
So,
Oscar argument. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's because you never see Transformers at the Oscars. Fun as shit. Never see it at the Oscars. But you will see some, Belgian movie that had, that took $100,000 to make with some unknown actor won an Oscar. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it was cinematic and moody and it had so much, great thespianship and all of this kind of stuff. Like, you never, so I think that's that argument. I mean, those types of games traditionally win awards. They do well critically, but there's a million different gamers out there who enjoy different things, But like I said, be critical. It's your money. You spend your money just like I do. Be critical, but don't throw a blanket over everybody. Just talk about yourself, because I'm not outraged by everything you're outraged by. You know what I'm saying? So,
another thing
but
too, like I feel like Microsoft, like when people say demand better, I feel like we're seeing them do things. Let's see if we didn't see them buy studios and talk about how they want to improve first party. I see if Microsoft didn't do absolutely anything at all, then I feel like everything they're saying about Microsoft, like Xbox not having any games, Xbox not doing anything, like what are they doing? Then I feel like all of that's valid. It became null and void when Microsoft was like, we're acquiring these studios, we're setting up our first party, this is what we're gonna do, XYZ. And so to me it's like the debate is
we
it's no longer a debate in my
we
opinion.
we asked for a roadmap. I thought
Yeah,
that's what everybody wanted. I thought we were on the
Right,
same page because
exactly.
in 2017, everybody was, "Where's the games at? Where's the
right,
roadmap? We don't know what's
exactly.
going on. They're too quiet. They're not saying anything." Boom! The next year they come out and say, "We buying everybody who's worth selling. I'm buying it." But Phil went to the store. He went to his old uncle's store and said, "Look, man, I need you to pull up the rug. I need you to go and get my bag out the floor. I need to go do some things." Like he
Mhm.
really, I mean, Satya really opened up the purse strings. Once they got Meyerson's ass out of there, he was kind of a choke point. He was like a cork
Yeah.
at Microsoft. He didn't want to spend no money on anything besides Nokia. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, yeah, we
he,
saw how
he
that
didn't
turned
want,
out.
yeah, we saw that turn out. So, Windows Phone rip. Anyway, but moving on. No, seriously, like as soon as that court moved and Phil was upgraded to the big boy table, you saw exactly what happened very quickly, mind you. I mean, within a year, within 12 months, we saw boom, 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 like dominoes. So this is I thought this we all asked for this, and now
Yeah.
we're mad at the process. Now we're upset because the
Mhm.
process isn't the way we want it. And
Yeah.
I find that to be a little shallow. I get it. We all spend our money, but take a step back sometimes.
Yeah, and I just
So
look at Crackdown as like the end of all of this. Like I feel like they had to release this game. This game had
yeah,
to come out. This is one of those things to where they want to kind of get it out there, get it done, put it on Game Pass, let people play it, and that be the end of it. And if something comes of it in the future, great, right? But they're moved on. So the studios that they have put in place now are currently working on titles, and so that's why I feel like this E3 is gonna be crazy. Like I feel like what we're gonna see is gonna be some great games.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be. I think that man, like, and we don't. We finna wrap this thing up, guys. But this is what we're probably gonna talk about this very very soon about like that first party lineup, man. And what plans do they have? Because that thing, I mean, based on what we see in Delilah, Fuzzy, is who they bought. I mean, and they may not be done as well. They may not be
Right,
done
right. That's what I'm
as
hearing.
well. So I know you got that green phone, Delilah.
It's
I know you act like I don't know about that green phone. I know that thing goes straight to Phil pocket. I know.
so crazy.
Yeah, you're not slick. I know you
You
got
see
that
who
green
follow me,
phone.
don't you? You see who
Hey,
follow
come
me.
on
That's
now.
all good.
Hey. I know what's going on over there. You, Phil, Aaron, all y'all hang out. I know. I see the pictures. I know what's going on over there. You was probably eating at the. I saw you in Phil's backyard. I saw it.
Field trip.
Anyway, no, for real, but it's just like I really think that we're gonna see something special from them coming up. I think that feels like okay, finally I'm at the table now. I can eat. I'm at the big boy table now. I can eat. Like this is where the money at. This is where everything starts at. So I just think that his vision for what Xbox is doing, and now that Satya is aligned with that, the whole entire company is aligned with that at this point. I think it's full speed ahead, speed ahead, and I don't think there's really much else is going to get in the way. So we are going to go ahead and wrap up the show, guys. Ran a little bit over, but we're having so much fun. We can't help it, guys. And I know you guys love that and enjoy the topics as well. So before you guys head out, make sure you hit that like button as well. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Make sure you guys share the link on Twitter, any social media, Instagram, wherever you can find it. If you have friends, make sure you let them know about the show as well. We're going to go ahead and get to this guest, though, man. We appreciate you being on the show tonight, hanging out with us, Delilah. It's been a little bit of time with us. Hope you enjoyed. It's kind of nostalgia. It's been a little bit, since you've been on the show. But go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you once again. What you got planned? What you got planned coming up?
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, you guys know you can follow me on Twitter, Delilah_HD. I'm also a member of Grown Women Gaming Podcast. We have our show on Saturdays at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. So if you want to check us out, please do. We don't care when you listen. If it's live, great. If it's not, great. But I'm also a member of the Tick Podcast, so I'm gonna be on that show later on tonight. Yeah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. Appreciate you being on as well. Once again, you guys, I made sure her link was down in the description. Go follow her on Twitter. She is very, very, very credible gamer. I'm always checking on, seeing what she got going on. Go follow Grown Women Gaming as well on YouTube. Go subscribe. If you follow me and subscribe, go subscribe to them as well. They're doing awesome things in the gaming space. Go check them out. They put on a great show. Bunch of ladies having a great time in gaming. We all equal, so we don't play none of that here. We all equal. So gaming is amazing. They do a great job. And shout out to you guys as well, Delilah, everybody else part of the show at Grown Women Gaming. You guys are all amazing. Big fans. So
you had a lady on last week, right?
Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah. Your compadre. I had her on last week.
Yes.
So we got little things mixed up in the DMs as far as who was supposed to be on when, but we got it all together. We had her on the show. Shout out to Lady too. If you listen, I'm sure she's probably gonna watch because you on here, so she she's gonna watch. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So shout out to you, lady. But thank you once again. Appreciate you. You always welcome back as well, Delilah. You family. Anytime you may get a random DM saying, "Hey, can you jump in this week?" So if whenever you can, appreciate it. Thank you so much, though. Okay.
Oh yeah, no problem.
All right, now Fuzz, my right hand man. Nothing needs to be said. I don't even need to say anything. Go ahead, Fuzz.
Hey, everybody. You can find me on Twitter at Fuzzy Belvedere. Or actually, I think it's Fuzzy_Belvedere, PlayStation, Fuzzy_Belvedere, and on Xbox Live, Fuzzy_Belvedere. Usually playing Forza, but probably going to be playing a good bit of Anthem from this point out, at least until Division 2 comes out. Great having you on here, Delilah, as a guest and everything, and
no problem.
Awesome show, awesome panel, just great talking games with you guys. It was awesome.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Fuzz. And once again, you guys know Fuzzy, man. He's here every week, man. My right hand, man. Appreciate you once again, Fuzz, joining us again. And once again, shout out to my boy Zalker. He, had some things going on. Missed the show today, no problem. Hopefully he'll be on next week, man. Appreciate you, brother. Love you. As well as Jarhead, man. Shout out to my boy Jarhead. I know you listen. I know you probably watching as well, boy. Stay off of Twitter, man. We don't need you. But anyway, man, once again, your boy PTK Blam across the board. Your host with the most. We do this thing every Saturday at 6 p.m., guys. For now, that may be changing once my schedule will change in the next couple months. So we'll see where this thing goes. But we're going to have another awesome guest on next week, another lit show, as well as another bunch of awesome topics. So follow me. Everything's down in the description, guys. Peace out and enjoy the rest of your weekend. We're out of here.
Later.
Peace.